Greetings and welcome back everyone to Rimworld Alpha 13, a colony simulator by Tynan Sylvester. It is not long after the fall of my previous colony, Muffalo Marsh, but I am ready to jump back into the saddle and start a new colony. Maybe we'll run this one a little bit differently. We'll see. Now, there are going to be a couple of mods in this one, so I'm just going to list those now. We're going to have Allow Tool by Unlimited Hugs. Frankly, I don't even consider that a mod. I consider that a feature that Tynan forgot to implement in the game, but Unlimited Hugs very kindly put back in there. We do have Better Coolers and Better Vent by Scullywag. It's similar to Heat Redist, but without the kind of ductwork and heating thing. It just replaces a couple of the basic vanilla heaters and coolers with the ones from Heat Redist. I'll show what I mean once we get in there, but they just look a lot nicer. We've also got the Community Core Library and Vanilla Tweaks by the Rimworld Community Core Library team. We've got EDB Colonist by EDB. We've got the Expanded Prosthetics and Organ Engineering by Yakara. Honestly, one of my favorite mods. By a fairly large margin. Again, I don't consider Allow Tool a mod, so it isn't included in that listing. If it were, it would, hands down, be at the top. But we're disallowing Allow Tool from this running, and because of that, Expanded Prosthetics and Organ Engineering is at the top. I really find that this mod adds a lot to the game. We've also got More Furniture by Anonymous 2 and More Floors by Talkir. Just cosmetic things, really. There's a little bit of functionality with More Furniture because there are some interesting things there that we will cover in our new colony, but we should go ahead and jump in. We're going to have Cassandra Classic on challenge, and we are going to be using the Nova Mine Lava, which is a world I just threw together once I'd selected which mods we were going to use. By the way, the mods will all have their links in the video description below. Now let's have a quick look. We're not going to prepare too carefully, but I do want to have a general idea. So that's one of the poles, and this is probably towards the equator of the planet. We have got rainfall super high over there. That's probably going to end up being a jungle, and over here a desert. Okay, that's all I really wanted to see, and yes, that is in fact true. Right, I'm going to select random sites until we find something nice. 6th of spring to 6th of fall is not too bad. It's a desert. I'm not sure. I kind of like having trees, to be perfectly honest, but you know what? I also like just throwing caution to the wind, flipping the coin, and letting the fates decide. Well, our fate, I suppose. So, selecting this site. Now, this part I will be going through with a bit more focus, because I really don't want to start off with a bunch of colonists who have got wounds and things like that. So I'm going to spend a bit of time finding some good colonists. I'm going to cut this out to save on time, and when you return, we'll actually see which colonists are coming with us. So see you in a few moments. Okay, we are back. We have actually got 3 male colonists of varying ages, from 15 up to 41. Now, those are on the kind of old range of what I would usually accept, but my lord, you've been in crypto sleep for a long time. Same with you, actually. You not so much, but we've got a very good selection of colonists here. And I also have a selection of names. Thank you everyone who popped down a comment on the last episode of Muffalo Marsh. We are going to be starting with Ben. Ben the prisoner. So many people suggested that Ben should be one of our actual colonists here. So there we go. Ben, you're a collector. You're age 40. You somehow escaped. Maybe there was a solar flare and you had been biding your time. You were already a little bit weak. It had been a while. But the solar flare happened, the guns went offline, and you used that moment to break free. And once you were out, you were gone. And you were picked up eventually by a group of pirates, sold into slavery, and the slaver ship that you were on eventually crashed and landed here. So, you're a male colonist, age 40, you were a child spy. Children are often presumed innocent and can be ideal as spies. Ben was trained in the art of infiltration and information gathering when he was just 9 years old. You're also a machine collector. Ben was obsessed with old machines and arcane pieces of technology. He obtained them wherever he could and loved taking them apart to see how they worked. He had a habit of talking about his collection long after people around him had stopped listening. You've got a green thumb, though, and you're a little bit trigger-happy. But that's fine. You're decent at crafting and research, but you have no other particular interests. We've got a surgeon who shall be Isildur. Isildur the surgeon. Now, you were a medieval lordling. Isildur was a minor noble in an old kingdom on the medieval world. He grew up in a manor made of stone, served by bowing lower classmen. Such a life teaches no technical skills and instills a lifelong aversion to manual labour, but Isildur learned early the ways of social manipulation. And then you were a glitter world surgeon. Isildur worked as a surgeon on a world mostly free of disease and human suffering. His job mostly involved elaborate and creative cosmetic surgeries. He has a good understanding of human biology, but never had to remove a cancer or a bullet. Fair enough. You've got fairly good artistic, though. Wow, you've got crazy passions. I didn't look at the stats. I was mostly looking at making sure that no one had any health issues and wasn't incapable of things and generally had no terrible traits like, for example, depressive. I actually got quite a few depressive, which was quite sad, but I just had to cancel out because that mood debuff early on is lethal. Social, you're very happy to be chatting with people. That's actually really, really good. And you're good with animals too, medicine, cooking, melee shooting. You're generally a really, really decent colonist. Not so great in combat, but you will get better fairly quickly. You're also beautiful. Isildur is exceptionally beautiful, which makes everyone like him. And you're an optimist. They probably also like you because of that as well. You know, optimism is infectious in a way. And finally, we have got Jack. Now, Jack, the male colonist, age 15. You were a wreckage explorer. 2 generations before Jack was born, an apocalyptic war dragged his home planet into anarchy. Jack was tasked with watching his tribe's herds, but often shirked his duties to go exploring the crashed warships scattered around the planet. And also defector. Early in his adulthood, Jack decided to leave the oppressive dictatorship where he lived. His defection was not well received, and agents were sent out after him. He spent years on the run, treating his own wounds so no doctor could betray him. The ordeal made him bitter and untrusting. Oh, poor Jack. You're incapable of artistic, unfortunately. You're not too bad with research, pretty happy with mining, but you're probably one of the best combatants we have. Middling skills around, but a spattering of general interests. You're incapable of artistic, as I mentioned. You're psychically sensitive. Jack's mind is unusually sensitive to psychic phenomena. Plus 40% sensitivity. That's nasty. But you're also an optimist, which will balance out a lot of things like that. And you're a careful shooter. You will take a lot more time. It'll be a quarter more time to aim, but you'll be half as likely again to actually hit something. So that's actually pretty good. Okay, the 3 of you awaken in your crypto-sleep sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you land on this unknown Rimworld. As pieces of the shredded starship fall around you, you start making plans to survive. Also, you could have steered onto those camels. It would have been an early bit of food. That frightens me. That frightens me a lot. Right next to us is a giant room. Quite possibly some sort of hidden danger. Let's have a quick look around the map. Not very many places where we're going to be able to grow anything good. This is probably one of the best places for growing, honestly, and it's very exposed. That will be fun. Let's gravel, some decent soil. I mean, not great soil, I suppose, but over here, soil as far as the eye can see soil. Okay. Now, we're going to make our best stab at it. We will probably build around this thing, and hopefully if someone tries to break in, they'll dig in there, and then they'll get murdered by death bots. That is my hope, at the very least. Now, first thing we're going to do, we are going to go over here. We are going to unforbid all of these glorious things. Only these glorious things. Actually, we'll unforbid those as well. And those, because they're food, and it'll be useful for us to bring it in. Next up, let's see. Ben, I believe you had a reasonable shooting skill, so I would like you to grab the pistol. Jack, you're very good, so grab the survivor rifle. Actually, you know what? No, let's do that slightly differently. Jack, you grab the pistol instead. Ben, grab the rifle, because the rifle's going to take longer to aim anyway. Jack will take a while to aim with the pistol, but it will be, you know, pretty good with it. Okay, so there we go. Go ahead and equip yourselves, people, please. Thank you very much. Now, we're going to have a lot of things that we're going to want to do, and that, seriously, it's worrying me. Let's see. Where could we build? We don't want to build anywhere on this, because that is going to be extremely important for us. Alright, well, the first things first, let's go ahead and set everyone up. As usual, firefighting, highest priority. Those who are going to be the doctor, high priority. That is the only one who will have that. Bed rest at 2, flicking at 1, and being a patient at 1 as well. If you need bed rest because it's very dangerous, go straight there. If you need bed rest because you stubbed your toe, go there if you don't have something more important to do. I will, however, have you on a secondary priority. These will override my other priorities, generally speaking. Now, as far as being a warden, I want that to be Isildur's primary job. Isildur is my best cook right now, but Jack is not a bad cook. I'm not going to have anyone hunting. In fact, let's turn all of these off for now. There we go. Let's get rid of all of these, and then we'll set everything up correctly after that. I think we'll go for actually, yeah, we'll turn all of this off now. Generally, all of it. As for hauling and cleaning, I would like these to be set up as so. That is definitely something that we're going to be having. 2 cleaners, 1 primary hauler. Now, in terms of mining, Jack, you're just so good at it. I want that to be your job. We've got no one who's particularly good at growing crops. That's painful, actually. That is painful. I'll have you cooking. Got handling. We should probably set that up. But that's going to be a tertiary job. You'll do that before cleaning. Crafting, I kind of want everyone to do if they're good at it, but if they're not, then just have it as a tertiary job. Maybe even the last priority. They can do it, but only if they've got nothing better to do. One dedicated miner is fine for now, but I am going to need a dedicated grower. Everyone should be at a priority 2 for plant cutting, though. If it's ready to be harvested, I want you to harvest it. It's not based on skill, so it doesn't matter. We're not going to set these up until we've actually got someone who can do those jobs. We are going to need someone who does construction, though. I'm going to say yes, that's fine. Jack, you do that as a reasonably high priority. Mining is a tertiary. Although that does mean that mining is going to be done slowly. Generally speaking, the other jobs that you do as a secondary, they're not going to be done a lot. You'll get construction done. We're not going to have a lot of construction to do, I imagine, all the time. Then you can do a bit of cleaning here and there. Then you can worry about mining as a tertiary job. And then if there's any crafting left to do after hauling is done, then you can do that as well. As for up here, you know what? I think I'm gonna have everyone doing repairing as a secondary as well as basically a primary job for them. These are emergency jobs. 2 is what I consider their primary task in the colony. Hunting is not going to be there, and generally speaking, yeah, I think that's good enough for now. It'll at least let us get things sorted. I'm not going to worry about setting that up for now, but I will just go through, make sure I've got no night owls. No night owls, so we'll go ahead and we'll restrict everyone to go and sleep around the same sort of time. I will guarantee you 5 hours of sleep. And I'll move you across a little bit more, so you'll get up a little bit later. After that, I guarantee you 3 hours of doing whatever you want, followed by a bunch of time working. I'm going to give you more joy time than usual. Or at least I'm going to tell you, go do a bit of joy. Then whatever. Actually, 2 hours of joy and then 2 hours of whatever. That seems like a reasonable setup there. I'll let you decide if you need more joy than that. Since you've already started, you might continue. And then you can get back to work for the rest of the day then. Okay, I think that's a reasonable setup there. Alright, so the first things we're going to want to do, we're going to want growth. We're going to want some growing going on. We'll set that up. We'll set this up. This one will be for potatoes. This one can be for strawberries. We're going to want a fairly large one for medicines. We've seen how badly that can go. So let's go ahead and get heal root going. We'll then want probably just some more food, honestly, and we'll pop that down there. Go ahead and make me some rice, please. Right, that should be good enough. Next up, we're going to want somewhere to store... actually, we could have some hay grass down here, and that's probably worth doing for our animals. So a big old field of hay grass as well. So where's that? There we go. Alrighty-o. Now, I would like a... well, ultimately, I want it to be indoors. A storage area indoors. Let's see. So if we make a stockpile and plan to build around it, that'll do as a primary stockpile. We'll rename it as emergency storage. We'll just change the priority. This should be low. Things should be stored there if there's nowhere else to store them. And generally they'll accept everything. Body part, well, you know what? Yeah, okay. We're going to have a lot of different body parts that can be stored. Right, okay. Hopefully, people will get to work. Yeah, they're going to be a bit sick for a while, unfortunately. And that's just the way that one's going to be. Also, please stop doing that. Ancient danger. Yeah, I knew it was going to be ancient danger. Sod it. That is so very annoying. So remarkably annoying. It is difficult for me to express. Oh, well. Right, you can clean this area. We are going to want... we're going to have a couple of trees around that we're going to be able to use early on. So let's go ahead and start by building this into an internal storage area. We're going to need it. We'll also have a wooden door. We can pop the wooden door right there. Okay, get to work, everyone. Get everything inside and we should be sorted. Well done, Jack. Wow, Jack. That is some crazy fast work there. There we go. Now what we could do as well is we could actually have, since no one is particularly... oh, no, you are the best grower. I'm just going to leave Ben doing it, honestly. I think that would be better. It means that the rest of the work is also going to get done a little bit faster. Once we've got that... wow, I'm so sorry, Ben. Just throwing up everywhere, aren't you? It's not fun being sick. No. Now, we are going to want some bedrooms. And just an early barracks or something would do. We're going to need... let's have a look. We set up a very early barracks, something like this. We can burrow into the wall a bit, I guess, if we want to. Or rather use the wall to mean we don't have to build everything. It's going to be a large area. It'll also be where we initially prepare meals and the like. So that'll do. We'll go ahead and we'll chop all of these trees. We want the initial wood as fast as we can. There we go. Now hopefully Jack can get all of this done quickly for us. And then as soon as we've got this, we'll be able to do the furniture, of which we have got so much more. It is crazy the amount of furniture we've got now. There we go. Well done, Jack. As soon as we've got all of this done, there we go. Now things will stop decaying in there quite as quickly, which is very, very useful. People are taking some time out, just generally chilling out at the moment, which is good. I want them to be in fairly high spirits. Because this colony is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. There's going to be all kinds of nastiness going on. We will be setting up a defensive line this time. But where we're going to set it up, I don't know. Because this is obviously, again, a very exposed colony. And I kind of like that. I think it creates an interesting challenge for the colony to be so heavily exposed. Oh, did I not put a door? I did not, did I? Because I'm an idiot. I'll place a door there. There we go. You guys could go and just bring things in. That would be great. Have we gone through all of the wood already? Ah, that's a pain. Now the problem with deserts is they do typically they are typically fairly wood starved. Cactuses do not the best source of wood to make, nor do they grow particularly quickly. We may set up an orchard somewhere at some point if we have a chance, but we'll look into that when we come to it. But we are actually setting things up in here. You know what? I'm going to allow cleaning around these areas because we are going to be walking here a lot, but only around these areas. This is basically our colony boundary right now. Yeah, there we go. You can take care of that. It'll also mean they'll put out fires as well, because fires for us would be, well, quite tragic, honestly. It would result in death. There we go. Well done, Jack. As soon as we got all of this set up, we can do a couple of little things. Now, these are the vents. You'll recognize the way they look. This is the cooler, and this is the vent. We've just got a regular heater like we did before. They just look a little bit better, and you build them into the walls instead of outside of them, and I much prefer that style. Right, if you could please finish that for me, I would be in your debt. We want a dumping zone, and I'm going to say, let's build the dumping zone over here. Just a little ways over there. We are going to make this garbage. And we will store chunks, body parts, allow rotten and non-smeltable weapons in there. There we go, just to get things out of the way, I guess. And since I've done that, we'll expand the home zone around it as well. Let's just get things sorted out, shall we? In fact, let's get all of these rocks there. Let's zoom in a little bit so we're only selecting the ones I want to move. Get all of those out of the way, please. All of these, all of those, all of the slag as well. There we are. That'll make things a little bit easier for us. And all of those can be moved too. All of these are going to have to be moved. No. All of those. There we go. And then those. Okay. That'll sort things out a little bit better. Right, now, before we wrap up this first episode, I want to get a couple of things set up. Just generally a few odds and sods. Where are these? Now, we've got a couple of nice things. We've got a refrigerated hopper we can now build on a nutrient paste dispenser. If it's powered, it'll keep things cold. That is glorious, in my opinion. Truly, truly glorious. But first, we want some basic beds. So, let's go ahead and make... Do we have... It takes 35 steel or 35 wood. We're on a fairly wood-shy map. So I'm not sure that going for the steel here would be the right option. Let's instead have a look. We've got 450... Yeah, we can make it steel beds. So we're going to make a couple of beds just down here. And we're going to separate them. And the reason I'm going to separate them is we can build these. Now, these are glorious. We can make steel end table, for example. This small table goes well with a bed. When placed with a bed, it will increase the comfort and rest effectiveness slightly. You can also have a steel dresser if you want. Does the same sort of thing. We can also build a steel end table with a light on it. We won't be doing that in this instance, but it's an option that will be very awesome in time. And I'm just going to go ahead and place down some steel end tables there for people to enjoy. We are going to then want a basic place. We've got a small table as well for bedrooms. It's going to be great. We've got filing cabinet for research, which is quite cool. We've got all sorts of little things. We've even got rounded tables. How glorious is that? Very glorious is the correct correct response there. We're going to have this table. Yeah, we'll place it about there. Now, it's going to cost a fair old chunk of steel. We'll see how this does for us for now. We'll just get all of that built, and then we'll see where we stand. Because it is going to cost a fair old chunk. But we've got plenty of steel over there that we can start mining into as soon as we want to. So let's just make sure that these beds get made. There we go. That's the first. Now, this is going to be a dark room initially, which is not, you know, the best, but we'll see. Now, that is attached to the wrong thing. That is probably attached to the other thing. Let's... well, that's unfortunate. I might need to reinstall those beds in a moment. Ben is heading for this bed, so that's probably helping. Now, this will generally just make the rest a little bit nicer. It's a shoddy bed, so it's not going to be great, but, you know, it'll get there. People will be happy, and Isildur working tirelessly through the night to clean up this area outside. Well done, Isildur. Unfortunately, you lacked a bed. I mean, I like to believe that Jack did not do that on purpose. Let's go ahead and queue up a little bit of mining so that we can continue with all of this. Go ahead and chow down. Let's get the rest of this building work done, please, Jack. Thank you. I think that one is connecting that way. I can't quite tell. I can only assume. Yes, that one's connecting there. That one's connecting there. And this one's already connecting there. Very, very nice. Right, last bits of furniture we need. Now, we've got a couple of different stools. And the differences between the stools, this one costs 15 steel. It's a beauty of 3, a comfort of 0.5. This one costs 60. Costs 4 times as much. And has a beauty of 7. But a comfort of 0.7. So not that much, you know, it's certainly not 4 times as beautiful or 4 times as comfortable. This one costs the same, 7. We've also got steel benches. Let's have a look at those. Beauty of 6, 0.5. Now, how much is that? It's only 20. So that is not a bad option for us. We could have a steel bench, or rather a couple of steel benches. I can only assume this would allow only one person to sit. Unfortunately, from what I understand, the way the benches work, or rather any item works, only one pawn, or colonist if you like, can interact with it at a time. So even though it looks like it can sit 2 people, I don't believe 2 people can sit down. Which is obviously a bit of a shame. But we're going to go for the really swanky chairs for this one, I think. We'll set up 2, because I don't think we need more than that right now. And we are getting very low on steel. But hopefully, Jack will be able to get all of that sorted. Then we'll start laying down some paths, and generally will allow people to get through here a little bit fast. It takes a little while to set it up as well. Now, we can set up a little fire in here and actually start work on some food if we particularly want to. I would like a little fire just because it'll allow us to get some lighting in here as well. Now, the problem with the fire, obviously it uses wood as a fuel source, so we're not going to be able to keep it going for over long. Still, it would at least remove any mood debuffs from being in a dark room while it's burning. And they burn for a couple of days off the initial wood that you put into them. We're going to need... We are definitely going to need to set up some sort of area. Ooh, visitors. A group from Acrobat City are visiting the colony. Very well. You're more than welcome in our colony. Well done, Ben. Thank you very much for getting all of that out of the way. There we go. You can now eat at the table, which is great. And we're going to get set up with our little campfire. Fantastic. Right, I'm just going to set this up. Do it forever. If we can make food, we should make food. And on that note, I'd like some... we've got a couple of those right now. And that's fine for now then, I guess. We can set up some research in here as well if we want to. But I would say the first thing we want is a steel butcher's table. That's going to be super important. We've got the basic prosthetics workshop, so on and so forth. We can also set up a crafting spot, but we don't want that. We would actually like a party spot. Where would I find that? Zone structure, crafting spot, joy maybe? Party spot? No. Miscellaneous? Party spot, there we go. If you guys want to have a party, you can dance around the fire. There you go. And it looks like my my rubbish dump is full. But we've mostly gotten things sorted out, so I probably should expand it though. So we're going to go ahead and do that quickly. Let's just pull the dumping zone out a little bit more. There you go. You've got a bit more work to do now. Sorry, guys. I know you're like, oh, damn it. I thought we were done. But no. Back to the grind. Don't worry. It's gonna be worth it in the end. We're getting some more stealing. And generally, things are progressing. I am going to want to get researching happening fairly soon, I'll be honest with you. That's going to take a fair old chunk of steel. Now we can go ahead and set that up, and I will. We also want a steel butcher's table. We'll set that up too. Furthermore, we are then going to want stools. Now generally for my workstations, I'll just be having stools. But there are a bunch of things that I want to get at really early. Primarily, I want to be able to start turning these rocks into useful stone bricks so that we can build a proper wall and then defend our colony properly. Right, the visitors are leaving. Okay. You know what? Should we? I think, no. You know what? Why not? We can make some nice plant pots in here if we really want to. That takes 25. That takes 15. So it's a little bit more expensive to have the double plant pot, but... well, we'll see. We'll see. I think before then we actually need to properly floor this area. We'll go ahead, dig out a little area there. That will do for the remaining steel that we need. Oh, there we are. It looks like you'll be here for a while. Isildur is suggesting that you give the colony a name. What should it be called? Antioch. I do like naming the colonies, but Antioch is a pretty good name, actually. However, that being said, we are going to name this something else. Let's think. We will go for the name is pretty much going to decide whether this is going to be a dark playthrough or a light playthrough. And I think we're going to call this Oolong Rise. And because it is named after tea, it is generally not going to be a dark playthrough. Generally. We'll be pragmatic about things. If things turn really bad, then, you know, we may have to resort to desperate measures in order to survive. But by and large, we're going to try and be the good guys of this particular world and make friends rather than enemies. But that's going to be it for this episode. I do hope you're looking forward to the continuation of this series. Do let me know if you've got any feedback down in the comments below, or leave a like on the video if you'd like me to continue with Rimworld in the future. But until then, do take care, everyone.